I think first of all, being the imperial power that it is, even though it doesn't acknowledge that explicitly, it has reached a point in its imperial life cycle where it's starting to overstretch itself, as all empires eventually do. And it's getting to that point where it no longer operates in the shadows as any good empire is supposed to. And it's now becoming very obvious and very blatant in a way that is not conducive to the long-term survival of an empire. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's reaching the end of its life cycle. And these are the things that empires start to do when they reach the end of their life cycle. I think it's often been said that an empire starts to die when people stop believing in it. And what maintains that belief is when it's able to operate through this sort of shadow infrastructure that it has had for all these years. But when it's now coming out and the State Department is directly giving instructions to journalists in other countries, and is doing so very blatantly in a way that is very, very obviously in contravention to the basic principles of national sovereignty of another supposedly sovereign independent country, then you know that this is an empire reaching the end of its life cycle. Then the second reason, I guess, is that the American government specifically has a very long and storied history of treating Africans with disrespect. It's not as if Africa is the only place in the global south where the American government would have an interest in wielding influence in this manner. But it's only in Africa that they would attempt to do something this blatant, where they'd go to a country, a foreign country, and tell a journalist who's a citizen of that country to do so and so and so thing, which is in direct conflict with, the interests of his government or his country, and to do so secretly and not to inform his government, effectively turn a journalist in another country into your foreign asset without the journalist even realizing that that's what it's being used for. That is a level of disrespect that is typically only reserved for African countries. And the US government has a very long and storied history of treating African countries with that very specific brand of disdain. So I guess this is more of the same.